Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Clark Trezise and I'm your local Australian YouTube enthusiast NFL follower. And I figured I would like to do my own mock draft because I'm seeing a million different mock drafts around the place and kind of give you my own thoughts, which are through the lens of limited college tape available, because essentially it's just looking at YouTube videos. So we'll see how we go and let me know what you think in the comments. So first overall, Cleveland, obviously they've pretty much got a 2-horse race between Sam Darnold and Josh Allen, and I'm of the mindset that Sam Darnold is the way to go. He's the safer option overall, while Josh Allen does give you some throws which are just mind-blowingly good. Like there's a seam route that he throws in the bowl game that just goes like an absolute bullet. There are some other questions that you have, and I feel like it's a safer step to go the Darnold route, and his pro day is really good and it seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders to deal with that Cleveland market. So the Giants then, number 2, lots of people have them going quarterback. I'm believing what the GM is saying, in that they're going to stick with Eli, and how they also really like Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb is the option here. They obviously traded JPP away to the Bucks and they have a hole to fill, and he's a pretty good option for that spot. The Jets at 3, obviously that's because of their trade up with the Colts. They're going to take a quarterback. Obviously it's going to be Josh Rosen. The Jets need a player who can play right now. I think Josh Allen, again, he's an option, but I think you're putting him too far in the deep end, and you may have another Hackenberg or Petty situation if you go that route when he's really not ready for it. So Josh Rosen to the Jets. I think Josh McCown is going to be a good mentor as well, because that way he is kind of known as a coach-player combo, and so he can get some more intellectual challenge by being at the Jets in that quarterback room. Cleveland now with the 4th pick, they're going to take some people call best player in the draft, Saquon Barkley. Obviously they got rid of Crowell, he was never the answer there. I don't think Duke Johnson is a 3-down back, so they have a hole to fill. Obviously they got Carlos Hyde, but they're gonna go Saquon with what's on the board at the moment. Theoretically I could see them trading here, but I feel like John Dorsey is a best player available kind of guy. He's said it a number of times, and it's going to help the offense be a bit more balanced than what it was in the last year. So Saquon Barkley from Penn State to Cleveland. Denver, they're going to take Baker Mayfield in my mock. I wasn't sure whether they would go quarterback here, but with what's on the board, I guess they could go Denzel Ward. But Case Keenum is not a big player, neither is Baker Mayfield. I feel like that's a good opportunity for a mentor role to be put in. I think Baker probably beats Case out in the preseason and then starts. So, but Case offers that kind of solid option if it blows up in their face, and it's kind of the counter to Paxton Lynch. Paxton obviously a big giant who has no idea what he's doing. Hopefully Baker Mayfield for the Broncos solve those issues. So then we have Indianapolis, but I have a projected trade. So at this point, with 3 quarterbacks down already, we're looking at Miami, Buffalo, Arizona. I think Miami only want Baker Mayfield because of the vibe that he brings. Arizona don't have as many picks as the Bills, and so the Bills are going to get a bit nervous with the potential for the Dolphins coming up and stealing their spots. So they're going to take the Bills trade the 12 and a future first rather than the 22, and the Colts might fleece them a bit more, we'll see. and the Bills take Josh Allen from Wyoming. He has the size, the arm to deal with the ridiculous weather that they've got, and I think that's going to be a really good option for Buffalo. I do think AJ McCarron is probably going to start, and then halfway through the season we'll have a Peterman, but hopefully he doesn't throw 5 interceptions in the first half, so then he has a chance. Tampa at number 7, so they're going to take Minkah Fitzpatrick. I find it interesting to see that he's dropping, and I have seen him dropping a lot further than I have him here, but you hear about the leadership skills that he brings from Alabama, and they do have a need at the safety position. He could play nickel, he could play safety, and so he just really fits in Tampa. Chicago at number 8, they're going to go Denzel Ward. We've seen in recent mocks Ward going higher than Fitzpatrick, but I think we're going to go Ward here. Bears did a good job dealing with the issues of receivers with Jaguars player, name I can't remember, Allen Robinson coming in, as well as Taylor Gabriel, so they don't need to deal with Calvin Ridley at this spot. And Ward, obviously from our Ohio State program, has the speed potential to be a really good lockdown corner to set them up for future success. Number 9, San Francisco, they're going Marcus Davenport. While he is from a small school at Texas San Antonio, he really jumps off the tape with the amount of pressure that he gets on the quarterback. I think San Francisco, they probably wanted that out of Solomon Thomas last year, but it hasn't really equated to it, and so they're going to go more edge rush pressure. Hopefully that means their defense is not on the field as much, and because Garoppolo's there, hopefully the offense stays out, so it kind of all helps each other. Oakland at number 10, obviously John Gruden's the coach now. He likes big, tough players, or just tough in general. I'm going to go with Roquan Smith from Georgia. Even though he's not the biggest, he hits like a goddamn truck, and really embodies the spirit that Gruden will want his team playing with. It's going to really help having Khalil Mack and then an extra on the next line. Obviously, their linebacking core is pretty slim pickings. Miami, given that there's not the quarterback that they wanted, they're just going to look at one of their needs. Tremaine Edmonds is an exceptionally fast linebacker, and he offers coverage capability because of that speed, and should be a good addition. Don't really have much to say about that one. Alright, the Bills via the Bengals, which, as I've mentioned before, was traded to the Colts. Quentin Nelson somehow, by a miracle for the Colts, falls all the way to 12. The Colts get another best player in the draft option. People are talking about Quentin Nelson as being a Pro Bowler in the first year. We'll see whether that happens, but it's well overdue for Andrew Luck to get some kind of protection. And even if Luck isn't the one who's getting the protection, Jacoby Brissett was just a sitting duck for the time that he spent there. So yeah, I guess that's what happens when crazy stuff happens in the first 4 quarterbacks going in the top 6. Washington, they're going to take Vita Vea. He's exceptionally fast for a defensive tackle, run stopping option, which kind of fills a need for what the Redskins had. There's potential that he gets to be a good pass rusher, but I'm yet to see that eventuate on what he's shown on the screen. So transitioning across, we've got 14 at Green Bay, and they're going to take Derwin James. He started really high before the season just been, and then he's kind of faded, and now as the combine's coming and the pro days and whatnot, he's coming back into vogue. I think he could potentially go higher than this spot, but it's just because Florida State was so bad this season, and he was doing everything. It's kind of like a Jabril Peppers situation where people won't really know what is going on until they have him in their room. Should help their defensive backs. Obviously they had Demarius Randall go to the Browns as well, so helps in that regard. Okay, and we'll go 2 more and then we'll come back for another video. So Arizona, they're going to take Calvin Ridley. Arizona really don't have any options left at the quarterback position this high. I don't think Lamar Jackson is worth a pick in the first round. That's my personal opinion. Feel free to tell me why I'm wrong in the comments. But essentially Arizona's the girl who's been left at the ball and decides to pick someone else instead. So Calvin Ridley adds firepower to their receiving group. Obviously Larry Fitzgerald, he's getting pretty old at this point in time, and he can act as a mentor to hopefully get Calvin Ridley from what's expected to be a number 2 type receiver to a true number 1. And finally Baltimore, they're going to take Rashaan Evans. Honestly, I didn't really know who to take for the Ravens here. The wide receiver and tight end options with Calvin Ridley just going to Arizona are really not worth taking here. NFL.com suggests inside linebacker would be a position of need. Evans already having experience in a stout Alabama defense is going to kind of fit in an already strong Baltimore defense as well, and add some depth and quality there. I reckon we're going to come back and we'll look at the last 16, and we're going to go through those and see what I think of those later.